introduce you to one of St. Jude's success stories. A little girl who spent a lot of time at St. Jude and might not even be here today if it wasn't for the research at St. Jude. So Gracie, can you come on up? There she is. Julie, if you'd be kind enough to tell us your story.
Well, just real quick, about 4 years ago this month, we were coming home from St. Jude with cancer-free. But 4 years ago, this past October, Grace was diagnosed with an ependymoma brain tumor, which is a very vicious tumor that's you don't hear about very much. Here locally, they just didn't see a lot of it and told us that she was terminal. It was all over her spine. She probably wasn't going to make it to her third birthday. She was 2 at the time. So we went down we sent our scans and everything, and the chief of radio-oncology gave us a call and said, hey, I don't see a spread on her spine. When can you guys get down here? This is what we specialize in. He in particular specialized in her tumor. The surgeon that got the rest of it out specialized in her tumor. That's where we were headed. They gave us a little bit of hope. So we headed down there, and thank God we did. They were able to remove the rest of her tumor, obviously not harming her. She went through 33 radiation treatments like a trooper, and we got to go home. And that was something we didn't even know we were going to see again with her. But they made it so easy because at the time my husband and I weren't thinking through a whole lot of anything. We were just devastated. And when they made travel plans, paid for the trip there, paid for a roof over our head, paid for food, and sort of thought through the whole process for us. And if it wasn't for people that get cared enough, or even children they have never met before, like you, it wouldn't be possible because that hospital is run solely on donation. And it is state of the art, thank goodness. If it wasn't, we probably wouldn't get to be here with Gracie today. And she's 6 now.
Many of you think you're building a house here, and you're not really. You're giving families hope throughout the country, throughout the world. And that's the one thing a parent needs more than anything else is that hope.
You plant seeds and you reap harvest. And we've seen here today a harvest of what was planted in the past by others. And not only will we see a harvest, I believe, by the seeds that have been planted by all the folks that are here today that gave as a part of this, but I pray that all the folks that have donated will receive a harvest in their own lives and their business. And so we thank you. We could not do this without you guys. You hear how emotional I am. Most of you have heard this, but what we have given people is hope. I have a sister that died a number of years ago, many, many years ago, when there was no hope for this type of illness that you heard about today, where all they could say was, well, you got 6 months. There is no hope. So we are grateful for the participation by all of you folks.
Again, we can't express enough, what it means to have all the folks that we work with come along beside us in what we deem to be an incredibly worthy cause. And I can imagine how many of you, now that you know about St. Jude, when you hear somebody say in passing, hey, somebody has cancer, how quick you're to say, oh my gosh, you have to call St. Jude. And that's my response. Anytime I hear that, yeah, don't look anywhere else. There's only one place to look that you need to go, where they're going to care for you and care not only for the child but for the family. So many people forget the toll that it takes on a family when they experience this kind of sickness and everything. So just thank you guys.
Tell about your friend who you saw in the hospital here.
Yeah, we have a good friend. As a matter of fact, he's going to be doing a trellis feature for the house in the backyard. And his nephew has abdominal cancer, and his sister, they have a number of kids who have had special needs, but this kid got cancer, and I remember I kept saying, oh my gosh, you gotta go to St. Jude. Well, they were over here at CHKD, but it turns out that the protocol they're using was from St. Jude, and the doctor actually was also a St. Jude doctor. So he had moved up here and brought all of his knowledge and his protocols that they had worked on at the hospital in Memphis. And so this kid has got an opportunity for life because of St. Jude, even though he's here at CHKD. So what you guys are doing, what you're continuing to do, has impacts far beyond what you can possibly imagine. And we just want to say thank you again.